Baseball fans, buckle up, because tonight's slate is absolutely loaded. 15 games, 30 teams, endless betting angles, and we're breaking them all down right here. From ace versus ace pitching duels to high-powered lineups ready to launch balls into the seats, this is the kind of day where sharp bettors separate from the public. Whether you're chasing strikeout props, home run picks, or looking for that perfect same-game parlay leg, every game tonight has an edge waiting to be uncovered, and I've got you covered with the most accurate data, sharpest betting insights, and hidden value plays you won't find anywhere else. So lock in, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the money should be going. At Nationals Park, it's Washington's Mitchell Parker, 7-15, 5.94 ERA, 94 Ks squaring off against Miami's Yuri Perez, 6-4, 4.04 ERA, 70 kiloseconds. Parker's season has been rough. High inning totals and control issues, but his veteran grit and recent bullpen exposure give him a chance to settle and miss bats deeper into the game. Perez offers upside with swing and miss stuff and double-digit K per start ceiling, though his home-away splits suggest Marlins offense may face timing issues away from home. Betting lines show Washington as slight favorites -115, an 8.5 total, and an even split in public action, a setup craving a savvy prop-first approach. Let's begin with pitching analytics. Parker's surrender rate from June onward has improved. Walks per 9 have dropped from 4.5 to under 3, though he still sits below league average in zone command. Perez is solid in zone establishment but tends to give up damage on hanging slider sequences. Nationals Park is not a high-scoring venue. Deep alleys and a low altitude suppress power, which means extra base hitters become crucial value. For player props, Jesse Winker is a standout. He's raking against righties this season with 8.295 average and .515 slugging, making Winker over 1.5 total bases a sharp play. James Wood anytime HR is another high upside target. 26 homers and elite pull power put him on or style smoke routes when fastballs middle-low hang. On the Miami side, Brian De La Cruz anytime HR is an undervalued dart, posted team-high exit velocity marks, plus an aggressive early count approach. KP, Josh Bell remains a doubles machine with 79 RBIs. Take him over 1.5 total bases if underdog pricing is fair. From a team total perspective, Nationals over 4.5 is playable if Parker crashes early, because Miami's bullpen has a 4.70 ERA and lacks high leverage trust. Conversely, Marlins over 3.5 can work if Perez struggles with early traffic. Miami loves to play with interceptor bats. Parlay ideas built on value. Lean 1-2% of bankroll Nationals ML plus Winker 1 plus hit plus Parker over 5.5 kiloseconds. Boost 0.5% unit Nationals -1.5 RL plus Winker 2 plus TB plus Perez over 5.5 kiloseconds plus total over 8.5 if betting window expands. Contrarian 0.25% Marlins ML plus De La Cruz hour plus Nationals TT over 4.5 rope play if Parker exits early. Game flow preview. First 2 innings are ignition. If Parker strands runners and nets 2 kiloseconds on SUB 30 pitches, crank up Nationals live bets. If Perez walks 2 batters early, pivot to Miami TT as bullpen havoc becomes probable. Mid-game pivot. If Winker or Wood barrels 1, ladder their TB props. Late innings leverage. Track breakout singles, late-game bullpen fragility in Miami, and juice TB lines accordingly. Ultimate lean. Nationals ML plus Winker 1 plus hit plus Parker under 5.5 kiloseconds. Parker has lowered his Ks recently, so the over is risky. Betting angle. Play safer by backing run scoring and avoiding tight pitcher K lines. Size 1-2%. Live hedges. If Parker deflates early, move into Winker only. If Miami takes first frame, hedge down on parlay break-even zones. The Detroit Tigers 80-59 host the New York Mets 74-64 in Game 2 of this pivotal AFL-NLF Central Showdown. On the mound for New York stands Nolan McLain, 3-0, 0.89 ERA, a rookie sensation whose sweeper has become the talk of the league. 3 starts, 0 earned runs, and one of the trickiest pitches to square up in the entire sport. Detroit counters with Sawyer Gibson long, 0-1, 4.32 ERA, a decent mid-rotation arm but susceptible to sneaky hard contact. Vegas paints the Mets as modest favorites, -140 megaliters, Tigers +115, with the over-under drifting around 8.5 runs as the market reacts. Sharp dollars and predictive models lean Mets, but key prop markets and bullpen textures are where the real edges lie. Pitching and market strategy. McLain's curve slider combination traps hitters with sharp break and hard life. His K floor is 6+, and yet public markets underprice that upside. Gibson long works fast but lacks a swing and miss pitch. That sets us up to fade his K line and pivot toward team hitting props. The bullpen frames matter. Mets' pen has been high leverage tested but solid, while Detroit's ranks among the worst in high leverage era. So if McLain exits early, Mets team total plays become slippery value. Offense and player prop insights. Detroit counters with a balanced stick combo. Javier Baez has rediscovered pull power and flashed multi-HR bursts. Baez anytime HR is spicy plus money. Spencer Torkelson, a consistent launch model versus righties, makes Torkelson 2+ total bases a reliable mid-tier play. New York's engine. Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil remain top value contact threats. Alonso over 2.5 terabytes and McNeil 1+ hit surface is smart, safe options in over-under pressure management. Team total angles. Mets team total over 4.5 if McLain can tame the Detroit break heavy contact, dagger if Gibson long falters early. Tigers team total over 4 has juice if McLain walks early or fails to settle, but live only as hedge if over moves or weather impacts wind carry. SGP parlay ideas. Lean methodical, 1-2%, Mets ML plus McLain over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Alonso 1+ hit. Structurally sound, low correlation, easy to adjust. Balanced upside, 0.5%, Mets -1.5 RL plus McLain 6+ Ks plus Alonso 3+ TB plus total over 8.5. Needs early engines, but explosive if pacing. Contrarian dart, 0.25%, Tigers ML plus Baez anytime hour plus Tigers TT over 4.5, value if McLain shows first inning struggles. Game flow and live triggers. Innings 1-2. McLain flashes 2 kiloseconds under 25 pitches. Lean heavy on Mets RL and Alonso TB. If Gibson long walks 2 or can't find zone, initiate Baez HR leg and Tigers TT. Innings 3-5. Alonso barrels 1 bolt style. Ladder TB legs, live squeeze. If McLain struggles, pivot to team total hedge or small Torkelson base add. Late innings. If relievers blotch or over-reading turns soil then ladder mid-high props or print partial hash profit. Final lean. My structural play. Mets ML plus McLain under 5.5 kiloseconds plus McNeil 1+ hit. Note. Under McLain Ks, his early signs suggest value lies in fade if line hits 5.5. Best balance of risk and edge. Hedge trigger. If McLain gets 2 earned in first, flip to Alonso solo TB leg or live ladder. The Arizona Diamondbacks 68-71 face off against the Texas Rangers 71-67, 2 teams surging and desperate to climb. Arizona's ace Ryan Nelson, 7-3, 3.53 ERA, toes the rubber after a hot August that has the D-backs in prime form, riding an offensive wave led by Kettle Marte, Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and the breakout Blaze Alexander. The bullpen, buoyed by Andrew Salfrank, has tightened the ship just enough to make Davis Martin's unit viable late in tight games. Texas turns to veteran Patrick Corbin, 7-9. 4.33 ERA, a flashback arm who has offered stability and blame-free innings in a now fractured rotation. Marketplace lines put Arizona at about -115 megaliters. Rangers around +120, and the total climbing toward 9.5 runs as books balance offensive frenzy with starting control. Start with the matchup dynamic. Nelson pulls April-May peripherals to strong August metrics, high soft contact rates, elevated Ks, improved control. He's a battleground ace with upside on dirt diamonds. Corbin's sinker-centric arsenal is twice as fragile. A few hard liners, a stumble here or there, and the bullpens awaken. Factor in home field Coors-like hitting variance in the desert, and suddenly team total bets and right tools hitter props bloom. Offensively, Arizona dominates the card. Kettle Mart is locked .320 with over 20-hour plus 2 OSB since June, and Corbin Carroll offers multi-dimensional value, 29-hour, 16 triples. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. complements with barrages of doubles and clutch TB production. On the Texas side, Corey Seager has turned ice-cold August into a heater, hit in 10 straight away versus NL teams, while Marcus Semien delivers plus power. Jock Pederson's return from injury lights up right-handed pitching exposure. Player props to fire off. Carroll over 1.5 total bases, Mart anytime HR, Seager 2+ total bases, and a plus upside dart, Peterson anytime RBI. Let's break the best bets and SGP strategies. Lean 1-2%. Diamondbacks ML. Carroll over 1.5 total bases. Seager 1+ hit. Balanced upside 0.5%. Arizona -1.5 RL plus 175. Carroll 2+ TB. Mart HR. Total over 9.5 if line permits. Contrarian edge 0.25%. Rangers ML plus Seager 2+ TB plus Peterson RBI plus under 10.5. Ride momentum versus soft markets. Game flow blueprint. 1 to 3 innings. Nelson locks zone early with 2 Ks under 30 pitches. Ramp up Diamondbacks team total in ML. If Corbin allows a crooked inning or shows high grips, jump instantly to TB props and momentum stacks. 4 to 6 innings. If Carroll or Mart punch barrels, ladder TB lines live. Keep heat on Seager value if he's spraying line drives. Late innings. If score tight into 7th, look out for Rangers pen complacent to chasing. Stack Arizona team total small or push low risk hit props. If D-backs bullpen shows cracks, hedge with Seager or Peterson deep props. Final call. Diamondbacks ML plus Corbin Carroll over 1.5 total bases plus Kettle Mart HR is the cleanest construction, a grounded but explosive combo. Back it at 1.5-2% unit. Hedge triggers. Nelson falters early right pointing arrow flip to Dallas team total or Seager TB leg. Carroll stalls right pointing arrow tighten units or pivot to Mart or Gurriel tails. Baltimore Orioles 61-76 against the playoff chasing San Diego Padres 77-60. On the bump for San Diego is Dylan Cease 6'11", 4.82 ERA, 190 Ks built for chaos, with strikeout upside but walk issues and recent gopher ball volatility. Baltimore counters with Kyle Bradish 0-1, 3.00 ERA, returning from Tommy John rehab. His 6-inning, 10K debut showed ace spine when healthy. The betting board pins San Diego as the favorite -170 megaliters, Orioles at +140, and the total hovers around 7.5. This is no ordinary matchup. This is a pitcher's duel masked by power potential and high variance. The edge comes from structure. Tight starter props and bats with room to break. Pitching and bullpen dynamics. Cease flips a strikeout machine but surrender of hard contact and walks spiked in 2 of his last 3, positioning him as a high-danger prop or fade candidate. Bradish, on the other hand, worksheets hitters with low EV and high whiff when his fastball sits, offering a safe floor with upside. The Padres' bullpen is deep and aggressive. They've locked late games before, but reliance on big arms means middle relief is exploitable. The Orioles' pen is shaky, especially on the road, underserved but afloat only by hot hands and late leverage call-ups. Hitters and prop targets. Padres' offense lightens the bench at age, but Juan Soto, 0.292 AVG, 34 HR, 120 RBI, remains the positive delta. His approach and power make Soto over 1.5 total bases a stable play. Xander Bogaerts provides consistent medium contact as a TB play or 1+ hit. For Baltimore, watch for Gunnar Henderson. He's rediscovered pop and speed, making Henderson anytime HR a pop option on plus value. Adley Rutzman over 1.5 total bases is also viable with his high contact profile against Cease's reckless off-speed offerings. Team total and over/under. The total of 7.5 is contested. Petco suppresses hours and favors takedown contact, but both teams bring power. Lean flies lean. Over works if both starters falter early or bullpen chiming. Team total angles. Padres TT over 3.5 if Cease is chased. Orioles TT under 3 if Bradish handles early innings. Best bets summary. Cease under 5.5 kiloseconds. Fade, given walk first profile and tight lineup. Bradish over 5.5 kiloseconds. Upside return in controlled environment. Soto over 1.5 total bases. Key value leg. Henderson anytime HR. Sharp plus dart. Padres TT over 3.5 live or pregame if run support available. SGP parlay builds. Lean strategy 1-2% BK. Padres ML. Soto over 1.5 terabytes. Bradish over 5.5 kiloseconds. Upside swing 0.5%. Padres minus 1.5 RL plus 140. Soto 2 plus TB. Henderson HR. Total over 8 only if confirmed line supports. Contrarian 0.25%. Orioles ML plus Rutzman 2 plus TB plus Cease under Ks. Value if Cease stumbles early. Game flow and live adjustment. Innings 1 to 3. If Cease allows 2+ hits or walks early, pivot to early Padres team total or Soto TB. If Bradish locks 2 kiloseconds on less than 20 pitches, lean heavier on Bradish K leg or add a small live hedge on Soto 2+ TB. Mid-game 4 to 6. Henderson barrels 1 for extra bases. Ladder that leg live. If Cease builds tone below 80 pitches and 5 kiloseconds through 5, buy Padres RL or pack on Soto runs. Late innings 7 to 9. If Orioles trail after WD fatigue bits and bullpen is taxed, stack Rutzman TB or Hidalgo hits. If bullpen battle locks in and score is close, fade hit props and look to team totals. Final lean and viewer playbook. Headline lean. Padres ML plus Bradish over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Soto 1+ hit. Structures offense around safe starter, modest risk. Booster add-on. Add Henderson HR for upside juice, all within a 1% bet unit. Risk management. Monitor confirmed starter from Orioles bullpen. If a journeyman slot is named, pivot quickly into Padres TT and Soto multi-base value. The Pittsburgh Pirates 63-77 take on the Los Angeles Dodgers 79-60 in a marquee showdown with major playoff implications. The mound matchup is a high-variance mismatch. Braxton Garrett 8'10", 3.55 ERA, draws the ball for the Bucks, an athletic righty with swing and miss secondary stuff but unpredictability in the zone. For the Dodgers, veteran hurling ace Gavin Stone 12'5", 3.05 ERA, anchors a rotation that thirsts for playoff dominance. Vegas has the Dodgers as strong favorites minus 225 megaliters, Pirates plus 180, and the total is wedged around 8 runs, a game begging for sharp structure, not blind over tickets. Pitching edge and team context. Garrett has improved from midseason control lapses BB 9 spiked above 4 to stabilized command in August. His latest 3 starts feature a combined 2.95 ERA with under 3 walks per 9. That reset opens value in Pirates team total teams and a stable floor on runs scored, especially against a Dodgers bullpen that has occasionally wobbled. Stone, meanwhile, features elite chase rates, especially splitter usage, mid-90s velocity, and a premium K/BB ratio that still underprices in book lines. Stone over 5.5 kiloseconds is a quietly strong anchor bet. Bullpen and game shape strategy. Los Angeles bullpen carries a near-lethal reputation late, but rest and workload matter. If Stone exits early, his bullpen consistency is threatened. Pittsburgh's relief core is hiccup-prone in high leverage, amplifying value in early offense plays and Pirates' TT legs if they hit first. The flow. Use starters for leverage during first, fifth innings and then pivot sharply based on bullpen call-up patterns. Player prop high-value targets. Stone over 5.5 kiloseconds. Main anchor, high EV, underboat. Garrett under 5.5 kiloseconds. Fade. Control issues remain under the surface. Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases. Top-tier barrel profile versus a contact-heavy arsenal. Freddie Freeman anytime HR, elite power and heart of diamond presence. Bryce Harper over 1.5 terabytes, nightmare matchup for Garrett who misses middle over the zone. Wilmer Flores anytime RBI, iron bat clutch value priced low. Pirates team total over 3.5 lean if Garrett's command looks early and PNC energy is high. SGP, parlay structures. Lean strategy, 1-2% of bankroll. Dodgers ML plus bets over 1.5 terabytes plus Stone over 5.5 kiloseconds. Aggressive swing, 0.5% of bankroll. Dodgers minus 1.5 RL plus 120. Freeman HR. Bets 2 plus TB. Total over 8 only if value pages justify in real time. Contrarian bounce, 0.25% of bankroll. Pirates ML plus Garrett under Ks plus Pirates team total over 3.5, perfect for shock value. Live game flow and adjustment plan. Innings 1 to 3 early edge. Stone with 2 kiloseconds under 30 pitches. Immediately ladder ML and Betts TB leg. Garrett shaky in first. Add Pirates team total over or Flores RBI leg. Mid-game, 4 to 6. If Freeman or Betts barrels 1, stack TB legs and consider RL bump. If Pirates deliver crooked run via Bradley Jr., add quick ML cover despite odds. Late innings, 7 to 9. If Dodgers maintain control but bullpen seems taxed, small PTTS, hitter props like Betts or cargo power value remain sharp. If Pirates unexpectedly within 1 run, look to value live bets on Flores or bullpen creeps. Final lean and betting blueprint. Primary lean. Dodgers ML plus Stone over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Betts over 1.5 terabytes. Balanced structure with mild correlation but high reach. High upside booster. Add Freeman HR and Dodgers minus 1.5 RL if early power pop validates. Risk controlled. Keep total units low. This is a dynamic game. Monitor live odds and key pivots such as first inning pitch counts, broken bats, and bullpen reveals. The Cincinnati Reds 69-68 against the Toronto Blue Jays 79-58. On the bump for the Reds is Hunter Green 5-4, 2.81 ERA, an electric right-hander terrorizing hitters with upper 90s heat and 2-strike dominance. Opposing him is Chris Bassett 11-7. 4.14 ERA, a dependable veteran with a splitter arsenal that induces soft contact but carries risk when his velocity dips. The betting markets have Toronto as modest favorites minus 125 megaliters, Reds plus 115, with a total set around 8 runs, an ideal backdrop for structured prop plays over raw ML tickets. Pitching and market dynamics. Green is a strikeout furnace. 77 kiloseconds in 57 innings, elite chase rate, wild walk numbers, but when his command sinks, he can dominate a blue-collar lineup. The stats show he's held opponents under .200 while tallying top of rotation strikeouts. Bassett's floor is low contact, and when his splitter lands he paves the way for clean bullpens and tight games. The over-under of 8 lines up perfectly for a starter plus top order build rather than full over betting. Bullpen landscape and game shape. The Reds' bullpen ranks mid-tier but ridden with traffic. When Green exits around the 5th, the pen is vulnerable to Toronto's boppers. The Jays' relief core is deeper and more battle-tested, but early in the game, Green's K floor buys breathing room. Value lies in stacking high-leverage hits with starter K legs rather than fragging a full game over. Player props. High-value targets. Green over 6.5 kiloseconds, essential anchor, elite K floor. Bassett under 5.5 kiloseconds, fade high contact profile. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., anytime HR, over 1.5 total bases, surge bat with elite power and favorable matchup. Bo Bichette over 1.5 total bases, contact and gap power in control counts. Ellie de la Cruz anytime SB, wheels plus pop weapon against a jittery Jays pen. Cincinnati team total over 3.5, if Green outpaces 70 pitches with K gear engaged. SGP, parlay construction. Core lean 1-2% bankroll. Reds ML. Green over 6.5 kiloseconds. V. Guerrero Jr. 1+ hit. High upside swing 0.5% bankroll. Reds -1.5 RL +130. Guerrero Jr. HR. Bichette 2+ TB. Ellie de la Cruz SB. Contrarian Yank 0.25% bankroll. Blue Jays ML plus Bassett under Ks plus Guerrero Jr. 2+ TB, set to negate Green's wipeout risk. Game flow and live betting triggers. Innings 1 to 3. If Green logs 2 kiloseconds on under 20 pitches by the second, live upsize ML and ladder the K over 7+. If Bassett struggles with command early, walks or tons into crooked inning, pivot to Reds team total or de la Cruz SB leg immediately. Mid-game 4 to 6. Guerrero or Bichette jumps, ladder TB or add RL. If Green bypasses 6 kiloseconds before the 5th, look to lock in a lean live parlay or hedge RL. Late innings 7 to 9. Reds bullpen has flashed blowups. If Rio is less than or equal to 1 and tied, small de la Cruz SB or TB hedges pay. If Jays lead by 1+, fade Reds hits and watch for Dodgers-style bullpen bounce, pivot to small Yankees-style comeback plays. Final lean and best bet summary. Primary lean. Reds ML plus Green over 6.5 kiloseconds plus Guerrero Jr. 1+ hit. Balanced. Tight correlation, low variance. Booster add-on. Add Bichette 2+ TB for high upside 5-leg parlay at 0.25-0.5%. Live hedge. If Green burns 6 kiloseconds early, shift to de la Cruz SB plus Cincinnati TT as low correlation offset. Boston Red Sox 78-62 against the Cleveland Guardians 69-67 in a high-leverage battle with playoff juice on both sides. On the mound for Boston is Brian Bello 10-7, 3.86 ERA, a flame-throwing right-hander with swing-and-miss life but susceptible to early traffic when the sinker misbehaves. Cleveland counters with Shane Bieber 5-9, 4.18 ERA, an ace veteran who excels on fastball control and depth but has yielded inconsistent strikeout totals of late. Books lean Boston at home, with a Red Sox moneyline around -130 and the total sitting around 8.5 runs, a balance between Fenway's run suppression and Cleveland's push off the pine power. This spot screams starter K builds and marginal prop. Leverage. Not blanket over tickets. Pitching and market insight. Bello's second half split has been strong. 2.95 ERA in 5 starts, with improved fastball command and slider bite. He's yielding under .220 average but walking 3/9. That sets up a Bello over 5.5 kiloseconds anchor, especially if he ticks early velocity. Bieber's story is control forward. His strike zone savvy is offset by recent contact issues, bags of soft contact outcomes but also several multi-run frames. That differential gives structure. Stack Sox offense when Bieber wobbles, fade starter K. Bullpen and game shape. Boston's bullpen has held strong once Bello exits. Their high leverage era is top in the league. Cleveland's pen is skittish. 2 blown saves and near league worst inherited runner metrics. This mismatch crafts values. Lean Boston team total if Bieber exits early. Lean Cleveland props only when bullpen is untested or special. Player props and value. Bello over 5.5 kiloseconds, high upside and value anchor. Bieber under 5.5 kiloseconds, fade contact profile. Alex Verdugo over 1.5 total bases, pull power versus LHP fits. Rafael Devers anytime HR, elite pull sidebar railer in home park. Steven Kwan 1+ hit, control bat, high average, prime versus righty sinkers. Boston team total over 4.5, Loney value if runs early. SGP, parlay blueprints. Lean core 1-2%, Red Sox ML plus Bello over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Verdugo 1+ hit. Aggressive swing 0.5%, Red Sox -1.5 RL, plus 150, plus Devers hour plus Bello 6+ Ks plus over 8.5. Contrarian dart 0.25%, Guardians ML plus Quan 2+ hits plus Bieber under 5.5 kiloseconds, fade but plus juice play. Game flow and live strategy. 1 to 3 innings. If Bello logs 2 kiloseconds under 25 pitches, upsize K-leg and add team total or TB leg live. If Bieber yields early traffic, pivot to Sox props. 4 to 6 innings. If Devers or Verdugo delivers barrel, ladder their props, same with Quan for Cleveland. 7 to 9 innings. If score tight, strong bullpen favor leans Boston, live adjust by layering team total and SGP legs. Final lean summary. Main lean. Red Sox ML plus Bello over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Verdugo over 1.5 terabytes. Booster add-on. Devers HR if early momentum builds, size small. Risk note. Shop props and RL lines, small differences amplify SGP EV. Hedge if starter fails early. The Tampa Bay Rays 67-70 take on the Seattle Mariners 73-64 in a high-leverage clash where small edges separate the sharp from the dead weight. Tonight, the Rays hand the ball to Shane Baz 8-11, 5.04 era, a rising fireballer with elite K upside but stark second-half regression and home run risk. The Mariners counter with veteran artisan Luis Castillo 8-7, 3.75 era, a ground ball dodge who suppresses runs and eats innings when his fastball is on. The sportsbooks back Seattle at home -110 megaliters, with Tampa Bay close -105, and stake the total around 8 runs, highlighting that this is a pitcher-driven narrative, not an all-out over. The smart money lives in tight parlay construction, keyed to starting arms, top-order firepower, and mid-game momentum plays, not full-game over bombs. Castillo begins with a pitch-to-contact arsenal anchored by a killer cutter, grounder-heavy sinkers, and rock-solid command. His ceiling is quiet dominance, especially when the Mariners activate plank-like with men on. Baz, by contrast, is a strikeout atom bomb. His slider-changer combo has carved up hitters, yet struggles late in counts. His HR 9 this year jumped, especially on the road. That dynamic makes Baz over 6.5 kiloseconds a strong anchor when velocity reads clean, and a high-leverage hazard when he shifts hitters earlier. Castillo under 4.5 kiloseconds is a reasonable passive fade, given low whiff rates. Bullpen tweaks are pivotal. The Mariners' pen is deeply trusted, with high-leverage production and multiple swing arms. Tampa's pen shows cracks, especially late in close games. Lean to Mariners team. Total plays if Castillo departs early, but still use caution on full game over, due to pen instability and offensive timing. Player props worth buying. For Tampa, Wander Franco over 1.5 total bases is legit. He's blowing off righty slivers with chase value. Brandon Lowe anytime HR, when he's locked, is cashable. For Seattle, Jared Kelenic 2+ total bases, Julio Rodriguez anytime HR, and JP Crawford 1+ hit all provide value. Each holds high contact and barrel potential against command-heavy arms. Parlay Blueprint. Core lean 1-2%, Mariners ML plus Castillo under 4.5 kiloseconds plus Rodriguez over 1.5 terabytes. High upside 0.5%, Mariners minus 1.5 RL, plus 130, Rodriguez HR. Low HR, over 8 only if line is soft. Contrarian 0.25%, Rays ML plus Baz over 7.5 kiloseconds plus Franco 2 plus TB. Game flow narrative 1 to 3 innings. If Baz rings 2 kiloseconds under 25 pitches, lean hard on over K leg and Mariner props. If Castillo mows 3 down, anchor Mariners team total in ML. 4 to 6 innings. Barrel war starts, Rodriguez or low barrel. Ladder TB legs live. If Bosch surrenders traffic, scale back SGP. 7 to 9 innings. Tight games turn wild. Mariners pen keeps it tight. If score close, look to Crawford hit prop or high floor TB legs. If Mariners up 2+, stack team total or salary immunity props. If Tampa catches fire, lean on Franco high EVTB leg. Final play structure. Primary lean. Mariners ML plus Rodriguez over 1.5 terabytes plus Castillo under 4.5 kiloseconds. Tight, correlation tense. Booster add-on. Add Mariners minus 1.5 RL if Castillo fumes hot early, size small. Watch pricing. TB hour props and TB overs shift quickly, shop aggressively. Hedge if Castillo falls early, pivot to raise TB legs. Royals vs. Angels sets up as one of those sneaky, high-leverage handicaps where starting pitcher shape and base-running aggression can swing the entire ticket. The matchup profile we're capping is a lefty power arm for Kansas City. Think Cole Ragans' template of high whiff rate, elevated first pitch strike rate, and a put-away changed slider combo, against a right-handed pitch-to-contact type for the Angels in the Griffin Canning, Tyler Anderson mold. Sequences well, mixes shapes, but can get nicked by premium bat speed and patient approaches. Even if lineups shuffle late, the structural edges hold. Kansas City owns the top-end athlete in Bobby Witt Jr., a contact-quality core with Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, and enough swingmen in the bullpen to shorten the game once they led. The Angels counter with thump from Taylor Ward and Logan O'Hoppe, selective length from Nolan Shanuel, and a bullpen that has stretched thin in high leverage. That imbalance is the spine of this handicap. Lean Royals early and often, then let their pen and defense salt it away. If Kansas City's lefty ace is on schedule, his K-profile versus this Angels lineup is the clearest mathematical edge on the board. The Angels run into strikeouts versus LHP with elevated whiff rates on breakers below the zone and four-seamers at the letters. The script to exploit. Get ahead with four-seam, expand with the cambio slider, and live on the glove side edge to righties like Ward and O'Hoppe. That gives us a ladder for strikeouts and a clean correlation to Angels unders for total runs and hits through 5. Conversely, the Angels righty starter faces a Royals offense that punishes mistakes in the middle third. Witt Jr. has become a nightmare for any pitcher who falls behind. His total bases profile is buoyed by elite speed, which also fuels steals and chaos on borderline contact. Pasquantino is the stabilizer. Low chase, line drive carry, and gap power that turns singles into doubles pressure. Perez remains the damage bat. You don't need 3 hits from him. One mistake can cash RBIs or total bases in a hurry. Bullpen texture tilts to Kansas City. The Royals' middle to back end, when deployed with a lead, plays up via strike throwing and ground ball tilt. They're not bulletproof, but they limit the free passes that ignite late inning totals. The Angels bullpen has battled usage spikes. When they're forced into the game early, the command phrase and the hard hit rate climbs. In a one-run script, that's the crack where Kansas City can turn a 3-2 edge into a 5-2 cover with one timely double. Player prop menu to attack starts with the obvious. Bobby Witt Jr. over 1.5 total bases. You have 2 paths to green. One swing in the gap, or a single plus stolen base plus productive ball. Ladder options include 2 plus hits or a stolen base add-on if the opposing battery grades out below average on pop times and hold moves. Salvador Perez to record an RBI is live whenever he's hitting with men on. If Pasquantino and Witt are in front, Perez gets at least a couple leveraged abs. For the Angels, Taylor Ward's total bases at 1 plus or 2 plus can be a hedge if you're heavy on Royals. He's the bat most likely to square a lefty heater and punish an early mistake. Logan O'Hoppe to record a hit is a floor piece. His bat-to-ball against lefty secondaries has improved enough to justify inclusion in same-game builds at modest prices. Strikeout and pitching angles are where you build your anchor. For the Royals lefty, over 6.5 kiloseconds is the first click. The matchup supports 30-34% K potential if he's landing the first pitch strike and getting chases with the change below the zone. Consider a cautious ladder to 8 plus at small stake if the ump scorecard trend or early zone looks pitcher-friendly. Pair that with Angels, team total under 1.5 through 5, which correlates strongly with the K edge and limits variance from late bullpens. On the Angels starter side, fade the strikeouts if the Royals' projected lineup skews contact forward. Under 5.5 kiloseconds is attractive when Pasquantino, Witt, and Michael Garcia are stacking 2-strike battles and spoiling elevated four-seamers. Home run and extra base shots. Perez anytime HR is a fine sprinkle, especially if the Angels starter's four-seam shape leaks arm side. Witt Jr. HR is priced shorter but is still live because his launch profile versus mistakes has matured. If you'd rather reduce variance, stick with 2 plus TB. For the Angels, Ward has the best barrel odds. If you're hedging a Royals run line, Ward HR is the tidy offset. Total bases ladders for Pasquantino, 2 plus TB, and Garcia, 1 plus hit, or 2 plus hits if you like plus money, fit neatly with Royals moneyline parity. Best bet spine for the card. Royals moneyline. Royals lefty starter over 6.5 strikeouts. Bobby Witt Jr. over 1.5 total bases. That's a 3-leg framework with logical correlation and multiple ways to get paid. K's suppress Angels' early scoring. Royals' best bat accumulates bases, and the moneyline benefits from both. If you want a touch more juice, slide Royals minus 1.5 run line into a separate ticket rather than bloating the same SGP. It's a different variance profile. For conservative bankrolls, swap RL for Royals team total over 3.5. It lets you win even if a late solo shot dents the cover. Same game parlay ideas to copy-paste and size smartly. Core SGP, low variance, Royals ML plus Royals SP 6 plus Ks, Alt plus with 1 plus hit plus Perez 1 plus RBI. Value SGP, balanced, Royals ML plus with 2 plus total bases plus Pasquantino 1 plus hit plus Angels TT under 4.5. Ceiling SGP, small stake, Royals minus 1.5 plus Royals SP 8 plus Ks plus with SB plus Perez hour. Hedge SGP, if you must counter, Angels plus 1.5 plus Ward 2 plus TB plus O'Hoppe 1 plus hit. This is mainly for live pivot if the Royals starter shows early command wobble. Live bet triggers to watch from pitch 1. First pitch strike rate for the Royals starter. If he's sub 55% through 2 innings, trim K ladders and lean harder on Royals offense props instead of run line. For the Angels starter, if Royals first time through XWOBA spikes, lots of line drives and deep counts, add Royals TT live and bump with TB ladder. Base path tells are huge. If Witt or Garcia are getting huge jumps, tack on a steals leg midgame at plus money. Final read. This game sets up for Kansas City's premium arm to dictate tempo, their athleticism to create extra outs and extra bases, and their middle order thump to push one crooked inning across. Strap your bankroll to the outcomes most connected to those truths. Strikeouts for the Royals starter, total bases and RBI for Witt Perez, and either moneyline or team total depending on your risk tolerance. That's the beyond the box score edge. Target the pressure points, avoid the noise, and let the math and matchups do the heavy lifting. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies is one of the most fascinating matchups on the slate, because it's not just a battle of two contending teams, it's a showcase of elite pitching versus elite hitting. We've got Freddie Peralta lined up for the Brewers and Zach Wheeler on the bump for the Phillies, two right-handers who can dominate a game and force hitters into uncomfortable situations from the very first pitch. This matchup screams playoff-level intensity, even though we're in the middle of the regular season, because both of these squads are not only fighting for positioning but also making a statement in the National League hierarchy. Peralta has been strong in spurts this year with a strikeout rate hovering over 30%, and he's generating swings and misses at one of the best clips in the league thanks to his high-riding fastball and devastating slider. His one flaw has been command, as he's prone to giving up walks, and against a Phillies team that thrives on grinding out at-bats, that could be a dangerous recipe. On the other side, Wheeler is having another Cy Young caliber campaign with an ERA sitting just above 3.00, a whip in the low -1.00 range, and a strikeout-to-walk ratio north of 5.1. Wheeler's dominance is built on command, velocity, and a four-pitch mix that he can throw for strikes in any count. Now let's talk bullpens, because both these teams have elite arms waiting behind their starters. Milwaukee has been one of the top bullpens in the National League with arms like Trevor Megill, Elvis Peguero, and Hobie Milner consistently holding down leads late in games. They've been in the top 5 in bullpen era for much of the season and are especially tough against right-handed hitters. That's a huge weapon for Craig Counsell when matchups tighten in the 7th inning or later. The Phillies, however, are no slouches either, with Jose Alvarado bringing a power lefty presence, Jeff Hoffman emerging as a strikeout machine, and Gregory Soto still lurking as a high-upside option despite occasional control issues. Both pens can slam the door, which is why runs could be at a premium in this game. Analytics back that up. The Brewers and Phillies have consistently played in low-scoring environments when their aces are on the mound, and the under has hit in a majority of Wheeler's home starts this season. When it comes to the bats, the Phillies' offense is headlined by Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Alec Boehm, all of whom are capable of doing damage in different ways. Schwarber is the obvious home run threat. Even though he's batting below .230, he remains one of the most dangerous power bats in the game, especially at Citizens Bank Park where the ball jumps to right field. Harper has been scorching in August, hitting over .330 with a handful of homers and an OPS north of 1.000, showing that his MVP-level swing is fully intact. Turner's ability to get on base and cause havoc with his speed makes him an ideal table setter against a power pitcher like Peralta, who can sometimes lose control in the stretch. On the Milwaukee side, the lineup runs through Christian Yelich and William Contreras. Yelich has rediscovered some of his old form, showing patience and power, while Contreras has been one of the most underrated catchers in baseball, bringing both offensive production and stability behind the plate. Add in the power of Willie Adames, who has been heating up after a slow start, and the Brewers have a middle of the order that can surprise even the most dominant pitchers. Now, let's dive into betting angles, because this game is loaded with them. The total sits around 7.5 runs, and with Wheeler and Peralta squaring off, the under has to be strongly considered. Both pitchers are capable of going 6 or 7 innings with fewer than 3 runs allowed, and with elite bullpens behind them, late scoring isn't guaranteed. Player props, though, are where the value really comes in. Freddie Peralta's strikeout prop will likely be posted around 7.5, and while that's a high number, the Phillies do strike out at an above-average clip against high-velocity pitchers. That makes the over a realistic play. Wheeler's strikeout prop usually sits in the 6.5 to 7.5 range, and considering the Brewers' swing and miss tendencies, especially against elite sliders, the over feels like a strong angle. On the hitting side, Schwarber for a home run prop is always worth a look at plus money, especially against a fastball-heavy pitcher like Peralta. Harper is also a strong candidate for total bases props, with 1.5 bases being a line he can cover with just one swing or even a double in the gap. For Milwaukee, Contreras over 1.5 total bases feels sharp given his consistency at the plate and the fact that he sees fastballs well. For same-game parlay ideas, here's one angle. Wheeler 7+ strikeouts, Peralta 7+ strikeouts, Schwarber to hit a home run, and the under 8.5 runs. That combination ties together the expected pitching dominance with a power bat likely to leave the yard, and it could pay out nicely with a boosted parlay. Another option. Harper over 1.5 total bases, Contreras over 1.5 total bases, and under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings. This correlates well with both aces shutting things down early but the star bats still scratching out some extra base hits. In the end, this is the kind of game where betting the under is the sharpest angle, as both Wheeler and Peralta are built to rack up strikeouts and suppress runs. As far as a side, it's hard not to lean toward the Phillies at home with Wheeler on the mound, especially given how dominant he's been in Citizens Bank Park starts. Final prediction. Phillies 4, Brewers 2. The Minnesota Twins 80-60 take on the Chicago White Sox 53-88 in what may look like a lopsided matinee, but for savvy bettors it's a goldmine of prop and structure opportunity. On the bump for Minnesota is Brent Rooker, a freshly promoted arm with a mid-4 era in AAA, commanding average whiffs but a fair walk rate. He's often in for 4 to 5 solid innings if his splitter holds shape. Chicago counters with Jimmy Lambert, whose 4.50 era hides his late-season struggles. His cutter has lost bite and his zone command has slipped. The market aligns. Twins are moderately favored -125 megaliters, White Sox +105, and the total hovers around 8 runs. But the real edges come from pitcher props, player power upside, and bullpen texture rather than the run line or full over. Pitching and market angles. Rooker projects as a mid-5 strikeout floor pitcher when his slider snaps but his control uncertainty caps large run line bets. A lean play is Rooker over 5.5 kiloseconds, ladders to 6.5 or 7+ if the first 2 innings show fastball life greater than 92 miles per hour and swing and miss splitters. Lambert carries a contact profile with high chase rates, making under 4.5 kiloseconds against Minnesota's patient righty Slayer lineup a strong fade. The Twins' offense, deep, efficient, and disciplined, punishes mistakes. That differential is the spine. Stack Twins bats when Lambert pitches past the 4th, keep Rooker K-fat, and minimize full over risk unless early innings collapse. Bullpen and game shape. Minnesota's pen is shaky but serviceable, especially from the left-handers, who neutralize Chicago's handful of power bats. Chicago's relief core is brittle. High-leverage breakdowns and recent blow-ups are their narrative. They're among the worst in inherited runners stranded. That mix signals high leverage value in Minnesota player props and team total inflation if Rooker falters early, but caution on late over pushes. Star player props. Byron Buxton 1+ HR. Best case relay of power pop versus a developing cutter that lacks bite. Tristan Casas 2+ total bases, gap power and patience versus soft stuff. Corey Julks 1+ hit. Contact builder with contact profile versus righties. Luis Arraez 1+ hit. Speed contact machine versus a shaky cutter down. SGP parlay construction. Lean build 1-2% BK. Twins ML plus Rooker over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Buxton anytime hour if plus EV. Balanced swing 0.5% BK, Twins -1.5 RL, plus 140, plus Casas 2 plus TB plus Arraez 1+ hit plus total under 9 only if early tempo is low. Contrarian split 0.25% BK, White Sox ML plus Lambert 5+ Ks rare, but huge return plus Julks 2 plus TB, only if Rooker pulls and bullpen crumbles. Game flow and live strategy. Early innings 1-2 if Rooker lays 3 kiloseconds under. 30 pitches, lock his K leg and add Buxton or Casas live. If Lambert gets smacked for a crooked run, inflate Twins team total or shift into run line immediately. Mid-game innings 3-5 if Casas or Buxton barrels 1, ladder TB legs and RL. If early action stalls and count traffic builds, use that in-run signal to pivot into White Sox hitting props for cheap value. Late innings 7 to 9, if score is tight, lean Minnesota bullpen stabilization. Small protective plays on Arraez or bullpen TB legs make sense. If Minnesota clear a lead early, fade White Sox entirely and ride staff depth. Final lean and betting summary. My best bet call. Twins ML plus Rooker over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Buxton 1+ hour. It aligns with the elite upside starter K floor, deepest offensive upside, and path of least variance. Optional boost. Add causes 2+ TB if line is juicy. Hedge triggers. If Rooker exits early, as less than or equal to 3 innings, or Lambert dominates, pivot quickly to mid-game TB plays and run line adjustments. The Chicago Cubs 79-60 against the Atlanta Braves 85-53 in a marquee late-season showdown. On the mound for Chicago is Jamison Taillon 10-5, 3.90 ERA, an innings man with solid chase numbers and sub-1.20 whip when his slider is sinking. Atlanta counters with Huascar Ynoa 5-3, 4.30 ERA, who brings fastball life but has been victimized by elevated hard hit rates. The betting markets lean Braves heavy, roughly -150 megaliters for Atlanta, Cubs choppable at +130, and a total around 8. But lights out betting awaits in prop structure, not top line outcomes. Think high leverage hours, starter K floors, and team total splits. Pitching and market scouting. Taillon's profile is underappreciated. The mid-90s sinker paired with a sweeping slider gives him a strong ground ball base. His K9 is north of 8 when locked, and he thwarts right-handed heavers who chase low sliders. Ynoa's arm strength is wasted when he strays and whiffs stay stagnant. Elevate Ynoa over 5.5 kiloseconds at plus money only if first 2 frames show velocity over 96 and chase 35% plus. Conversely, Taillon under 5.5 kiloseconds is a smart fade in this high-scoring ballpark as Atlanta's patience has spiked this month. Bullpen texture and game shape. Atlanta's pen filters pressure masterfully. Their high-leverage era ranks in the top 5, and they thrive on quickouts once Taillon exits. The Cubs' pen, however, is fragile late. Their high-leverage era is bottom 3rd, and Chicago's middle relievers have been serving sacrificial meat. This tilt means value lies in Cubs team total or Cubs HR props when Atlanta in charge late. Lean Braves TB or power plays when Cubs bullpen enters higher variance territory. Player props and value angles. Power plays. Ronald Acuna Jr. Anytime HR. Elite contact. Such home field carry. Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases. Consistent doubles manip. William Contreras over 1.5 total bases, righty power spot versus soft sliders. Seiya Suzuki 2+ total bases, patient power hitter versus frontline arms. Speed contact. Nico Horner 1+ hit, jack of all trades spark versus Atlanta breaking zone. Dansby Swanson 1+ hit, contact first bat versus slider low. Team totals. Braves TT over 4.5 if Taillon crumbles early, greater than 60 pitches and greater than 3 earned. Cubs TT over 3.5 if Ynoa leaves under 3 innings or arms above 100 pitches early. SGP, parlay ideas. Lean core 1-2%, Braves ML plus Acuna hour plus Freeman 1+ hit, balanced power stack. Upside swing, 0.5%, Braves -1.5 RL, plus 145, plus Acuna 2+ TB plus Freeman 2+ TB plus over 8.5. High risk, high reward. Contrarian tilt, 0.25%, Cubs ML plus Contreras hour plus Cubs TT over 3.5, plus juice edge if bullpen fades. Game flow and live strategy. Innings 1-2. Acuna barrels early. Jumps your power tickets. If Taillon is under 90 miles per hour heat shaking, ladder Contreras TB. Ynoa early traffic. Pivot to Cubs TT or ML hedge. Innings 3-5. Freeman locks 1. Ladder to 2 plus TB or add Braves minus 1.5 RL. Cubs fire in crooked runs. Buy Cubs TT and drop off other high-risk legs. Late innings 7 to 9 if tied or close. Braves pen traps benefit run tight TB midsize. If Cubs bullpen gets exposed, stack Cubs TB or RL back if value persists. Final lean and betting blueprint. Sharp structure to print. Braves ML plus Acuna hour plus Freeman 1 plus hit. Lean, fair variance, high EV. Booster play. Add Braves minus 1.5 RL if early frames wave. Value hedges. Cubs ML or Cubs TT if tail installs. Always shop price differences across sites. Acuna HR and Freeman TB lines vary widely. The St. Louis Cardinals 69-70 visit the Oakland Athletics 63-75 in what looks like a developmental showcase on the surface, but sharp eyes see real betting value in the pitcher versus batter frames and power disparity between these lineups and markets. On the mound for St. Louis is Alek Thomas, a MID5 era righty in his rookie season, whose strikeout potential sits near 8K9 when his four-seamers are on, but his shaky command and high BABIP make him a textbook, under 5 innings, pitcher. Oakland counters with Joey Estes, a prospect builder whose era is in the mid-4s but whose secondary packages, especially his changeup, have induced whiffs at high rates in recent outings. Betting markets make the A's slight home chalk. Look for them to be around minus 110 megaliters, with Cardinals around plus 100 and totals pushing 8. Knowing these teams, the real advantage comes in prop structure and mid-inning momentum, not full game breakers. Pitching shape and market edge. Thomas's ceiling is his swing and miss slider when he's in zone. If he lands 2 strikeouts through the first inning under 25 pitches, that's your green light to anchor a starter K-leg. Estes, by contrast, has adopter contact bender players but limited pure missile baton. Under 5.5 kiloseconds for Estes is a smart fade unless he's topping gloves of A's power bats. The bullpen angle is significant. Oakland's relief crew is dealing, with multiple left-right combo arms holding down garbage runs nicely, while St. Louis's pen remains inconsistent. Good in structure but shaky under smoke, which separates team total edges sharply. Player prop highlights. Power targets. Nolan Gorman anytime HR is the header. He's mashing changeups and cutters in the zone and has double-digit home runs in August. Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5 total bases is a lean home base fixture, classic floor plus upside. Oakland power backs. Tony Kemp over 1.5 total bases is a value piece, and Josh Harrison 1 plus hit as contact backup with mixed right-handed exposure. Plus, speed value hangs. Eschery Ruiz anytime SB at plus money in a shaky lineup gives edge when they manufacture cars into scoring. Team totals and context plays. A's team total over 3.5 is juicy if Thomas stumbles early, since Oakland's pen is disciplined and pushes contact into cooler areas. 0 power, but high efficiency. Cardinals team total over 4.5 plays if Estes shows early insecurity, walks, long counts, as St. Louis can exploit free passes and barrel gainers. SGP, parlay templates. Lean core, 1-2% of bankroll, Cardinals ML plus Gorman anytime hour plus Thomas over 5.5 kiloseconds. Correlated, low variance lean. Balanced booster, 0.5%, Cardinals minus 1.5 RL, plus 130, plus Goldschmidt 2 plus TB plus Ruiz SB plus total over 8. Contrarian dart, 0.25%, A's ML plus Kemp 2 plus TB plus A's TT over 3.5 plus Estes under 5.5 kiloseconds, plus juice pivot if Mac looks shaky. Live game flow triggers. Innings 1 to 2. Thomas gets 2 kiloseconds on 20 pitches. Scale the K-leg, stack lineup props. Estes walks 2. Lean early into Cardinals TT. Middle frames 3 to 5 Gorman or Goldie barrels. Ladder TB legs live. If Oakland bats scratch crooked runs, shift immediacy to SB plus value hits. Late innings 6-9 if Orioles pen. Sorry, if A's pen is fresh and Cardinals are scrambling, bet on team total inflation. If Thomas needs the pen early, ramp up Gorman, Goldie value and A's TT is hedge. Final betting stance. Best balanced ticket. Cardinals ML plus Gorman hour plus Thomas 6 plus Ks. Locked correlation on live K and early power. Booster ad. Cardinals minus 1.5 RL plus Goldschmidt TB plus Ruiz SB, size small. Risk notes. Watch for fielding shifts and wind carry. Oakland breeze at night becomes silent, reducing home run breakout, lowers Gorman expectation but raises contact drivetrain expectations. The Houston Astros and the New York Yankees is a classic September showdown that could swing a division race and definitely moves the betting board. The probable pitching matchup has Will Warren getting the call for the Yankees, a right-hander with an 8-6 record and a 4.30 ERA who's been eating innings and missing bats at times this season, while the Astros will hand the ball to Jason Alexander, a younger arm who's shown promise. 4-1, 4.61 ERA in limited action but also carries some home run and contact risk. Those matchups set the tone. This is a pitcher-forward game on paper, but both lineups carry enough pop to turn one mistake into a multi-run inning. Start with the starters because everything else cascades from their profiles. Warren's season is built on command and length. He'll aim to limit base runners, avoid the long ball, and force the Astros into tough at-bats. That makes Warren over 5.5 kiloseconds an attractive anchor if his velocity and early strike rate look healthy at first pitch. Alexander profiles as a high-variance arm. If his slider and change work he can coast through 5, but if he leaves cutters over the plate Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton and the rest will punish mistakes. Alexander's K upside is lower than Warren's in raw ceiling, but his HR/FB rate creeps into value spots for anytime HR props on both sides. Use the starters as your first building blocks. Choose a K leg and one top bat from each team to hedge variance. Bullpens tilt this matchup toward the Yankees in leverage statistics, but the Astros pen has shown flashes and a high ceiling closer who can blank lineups in the ninth. That means if Warren exits with a lead, New York's ability to lock late is a real edge. If Alexander goes deep and leaves the game tied, Houston's late arms can neutralize Judge and friends. Practically, that shapes our best bets. Prefer starter-anchored plays and team totals tied to starter performance. Avoid blind full game over tickets unless the early frames suggest both starters are hittable. For in-game strategy, monitor known high-leverage arms warming. If Houston's closer is available and Yankees are down by 1 entering the ninth, a small live hedge on Astros ML often pays. Offense and player prop territory is where the real money hides. For New York, Aaron Judge anytime HR or Judge 2+ total bases are staples. He's a one-swing engine and will always be a headline prop. Anthony Volpe 1+ hit and Gleyber Torres 1+ RBI are lower variance plays that profit from sustained pressure on contact pitchers. For Houston, Yordan Alvarez anytime HR, Jose Altuve 1+ RBI, and Jeremy Pena 1+ hit are the slabs to attack if Alexander leaves mistakes over the plate. Also look for value on mid-order total bases lines. Alvarez and Judge are both excellent TB buys when priced a touch short. Cross-shop those lines. A 10 to 20% difference across books swings SGPEV massively. Now the money construction. Same game parlays and legs that balance correlation and variance. Keep your core small and add 1 or 2 high-ceiling darts. 1. Conservative core, 1-2% bankroll, Yankees ML plus Warren over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Judge 1+ hit. This is lower variance, driven by starter control and a top-order bat. 2. Mid-variance builder, 0.5%, Yankees -1.5 RL plus Warren 6+ Ks plus Volpe 2+ TB plus Alvarez anytime hour. This requires early Yankee control plus at least one big swing from Houston to pay. 3. High ceiling contrarian, 0.25%, Astros ML, plus money, plus Alexander over 5.5 kiloseconds plus Altuve 2 plus TB plus total over 8.5. Only pull this if Alexander looks locked and books over price Houston after public New York action. Live cues you must narrate on camera. First inning pitch counts and first pitch strike rate for each starter are your fastest EV signals. If Warren has 0 to 1 walks and 2 kiloseconds under 20 pitches through 2, ladder his K-leg and upsize Yankees RL. If Alexander gives up a leadoff double or 2 walks in the first, pivot immediately to Yankees TT and add Judge TB. Wind and ballpark factors matter here too. If wind is blowing out at Daikin Park, or whatever venue, push HR legs and bump totals by a half run. If it's a grindy, into-out night, shrink over exposure and lean props on extra bases instead of homers. Risk management. Size the core ticket as your base 1-2%, keep the swing ticket at half a unit, and limit the contrarian boom to 0.25%. Always shop lines before lock. Tatis Torres, Tucker total bases and K lines can move quickly. Hedge triggers. If your starter K-leg stalls 0 kiloseconds through 3 innings, but your team still leads, consider trimming the K-leg and buying a team total or hitter TB leg to protect EV. If the opposing starter is pulled early, purposefully re-weight toward team totals for the club whose pen now faces an easier matchup. Final playbook. The narrative lean. Back the Yankees in game structure when Warren looks sharp, anchor your ticket to his K-line, and pair Judge or Volpe as your primary hitter. If Alexander shows early command, flip to the mid-variance builder and trust Alvarez to supply the pop. The smartest money here is structured, adjustable, and ready to pivot on pitch count signals. Play the market, not the narrative, and you'll extract value from this high-stakes Astros-Yankees clash. When you look at Rockies versus Giants, you instantly see one team that's fighting for positioning in the NL West while the other is trying to avoid being labeled as an easy series sweep target. The Rockies, sitting in rebuild mode, head into this matchup with a clear Achilles heel, pitching, both in the rotation and in the bullpen. Meanwhile, the Giants are quietly lurking as a team that has the arms, the bullpen depth, and the clutch bats to exploit that weakness, especially at Oracle Park where the winds and marine layer play into their style of baseball. Let's dig into the numbers, the angles, and the best betting looks for this game. On the mound, we've got Kyle Freeland for the Rockies against Jordan Hicks for the Giants. Freeland has been the Rockies' veteran lefty for years, but let's be honest, he's been shelled consistently, posting an ERA north of 5.50 with a whip around 1.50. Away from Coors Field, you'd think he might stabilize, but the road numbers tell the same story. Hitters are slashing nearly .300 against him, and he doesn't miss bats. His strikeout rate is hovering under 7 per 9 innings, and against a disciplined Giants lineup that thrives on working counts and forcing mistakes, Freeland is walking into a tough assignment. Hicks, on the other hand, has been one of the surprise stories for San Francisco since transitioning fully into the starting rotation. He's pumping 98 miles per hour sinkers, keeping the ball on the ground at an elite clip, over 55% ground ball rate, and limiting hard contact. His ERA sits in the low 3s, and his ability to suppress slugging has been key in a ballpark that already neutralizes power. The biggest edge here is command. Hicks has sharpened his walk rate and has shown the ability to work 5 to 6 strong innings consistently before handing it over to a Giants bullpen that ranks top 10 in ERA, whip, and strikeout rate. Contrast that with the Rockies bullpen, one of the worst in baseball with a collective ERA pushing 5.00 and a home run per 9 rate among the highest in the league, and it's clear where the late-game edge lies. Now let's break down the offenses. Colorado is a different animal outside of Coors Field. At home, they put up respectable numbers, but on the road they are bottom 5 in ops, slugging, and runs scored per game. Key bats like Ryan McMahon and Ezequiel Tovar have shown flashes, but consistency is a major issue. When the Rockies face right-handed pitching on the road, their strikeout rate spikes above 25%, and they rank near the cellar in isolated power. That screams trouble against a power sinker ball pitcher like Hicks who lives off weak contact. The Giants, meanwhile, aren't an explosive offense, but they're opportunistic. They've got J.D. Davis, Jorge Soler, and Wilmer Flores who can all handle left-handed pitching, and that's bad news for Freeland. Against lefties, the Giants' team ops jumps nearly 30 points, and Oracle Park's dimensions won't scare off righty power bats who can yank it down the line. Expect Flores and Soler to have prime RBI chances here. Now let's shift into props and betting market angles because this is where the sharp money looks juicy. Strikeout props. Freeland's lack of swing and miss stuff means I'd fade his K total. If his line sits around 4.5 kiloseconds, the under is a strong play given the Giants' patient approach. For Hicks, however, his strikeout ceiling isn't elite, but against the Rockies' high K rate on the road, the over on 5.5 kiloseconds could cash with relative comfort. Home run props. Target Soler and Flores. Soler's power against left-handed pitching is always dangerous, and Flores has been a consistent lefty masher. Either one is a solid sprinkle for a bomb. Total bases props. Ryan McMahon is probably the only Rockies bat worth a look. He's been their most consistent source of extra base hits. On the Giants' side, Flores over 1.5 total bases makes sense in this matchup. Best bets. Giants' moneyline is chalky but safe. To extract value, the Giants' run line -1.5 looks appealing given the bullpen edge and Colorado's road struggles. The total should lean under, but a Giants team total over 4.5 has more juice, as their bats are set up well against Freeland and the Rockies' bullpen. SGP parlay legs ideas. Giants ML plus Hicks 5 plus Ks plus Soler to record a hit plus Giants team total over 3.5. That's a solid build that correlates perfectly with how the game should play out. Another option. Giants -1.5 plus Flores over 1.5 total bases plus Rockies under 3.5 runs, banking on Freeland struggling and the Rockies' road bats going cold. At the end of the day, this game comes down to a massive pitching mismatch and bullpen disparity. Hicks gives the Giants a chance to control the game early, and the bullpen can lock it down late. Freeland, meanwhile, will be under fire from the opening inning, and even if he somehow survives, the Rockies' bullpen is gasoline on the fire. Prediction. Giants 6, Rockies 2. The Giants roll at home, cashing run line backers, with Hicks putting up another solid outing while Flores and Soler headline the offensive attack. If you love these breakdowns and want daily betting edges for every MLB slate, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your best bets in the comments. I want to know who you're riding with tonight. And don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a pick. Let's cash some tickets together and turn today's full slate into a bankroll builder.